building you're in, the entire building. Let it expand and encompass the city you're in. Let it settle into all the nooks and crannies. Let it expand and encompass the state you're in. And let it get into every inch of the state. Let it expand and now encompass the country you're viewing us from. Let it expand and cover the entire world. Every nook, every cranny, every rock, every river, every animal, every reptile and insect is filled with and surrounded by peace. Allow yourself to be aware and to know that this peace has always been here within you. This peace has always been in the room you've been in. This peace has always been in the building that you're in. This peace has always been in the state, in the country, and in the world. We've only separated our awareness from it, but it has always been here. Feel the peace on whatever level that you feel peace, and whatever that means to you. And bring your awareness back into the room where we are and where we are seated. and be aware of the peace within you and the peace around you and the peace that has always existed everywhere. And in your body, just take a moment and feel it. Sense it. And know it. And now that you are back in this space, open your eyes and be fully present in the room. In the full at one with the peace that we are and have always been. Namaste. And so it is.
And so it is.
Are you okay, Marianne?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Just
However, Frank has told us very clearly, and I have to agree with him, peace is everywhere. Fear cannot exist in the same presence of peace. So if we focus on the peace and not on the fear, then we are way ahead of the game. So I just thought that was so appropriate to pull into this particular moment. Thank you so much, Teporah. Thank you, Frank. We're so glad to have you with us today. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's Sunday celebration service. Thank you for joining us from wherever and whenever you are. I am your host, Robin Farrenholt, and our speaker today is my brother and friend, Frank Mastoris. He is also our practitioner today. He's on double duty. And thank you for the invocation, Frank. Our musician is Teporah, who we have not had in person for, it seems like, forever. So this is wonderful to be in the presence of Teporah. And again, our service producer is our wonderful sister and tech whiz, Dana Cole. So at the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore, every Sunday is Bring a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Frankly, I don't care if you go out and find somebody on the street and want to bring them to service. That's fine with me. It doesn't have to be a friend or a family member. But we invite you to bring someone as we spread our message of love and light and joy. All are welcome here. We are radically inclusive. And we would love to have you and them hang out with us. So now I'm going to ask you to invite you to join me in our CSLGB covenant and community prayer. It's in your little bulletin here. You should have one. If not, I can get one for you. So let's begin with our community covenant. The circle of divine love is complete. It comprehends all, includes all, and binds all together with everlasting unity. We are forever held in love's presence and care. Divine love is complete in me. I am the divine love that I am. Take a moment to think about what you just read. And now let's continue with our community prayer. There is only one life. That life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore Community. I know that the highest purpose of CSL Greater Baltimore is a revelation of God as divine love. As I now accept the highest expression of Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore into my life, I know that it will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good for all who are touched by this presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Amen. Aho, Ashe, and blessed be. So I'd like to welcome back Teporah, but I want to share some of her background and bio. Teporah comes from a very musical family. She was immersed in music and singing throughout her childhood, throughout her life. She did study classically at the Oberlin and the Peabody Conservatories, and her background is really from jazz and folk. But the girl just can sing and she can play piano, and she's just so talented. So we are so gracious to have Teporah with us again today. Thank you, Teporah.
Thank you. So this song has many versions. It's called Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Oh, yes.
However, I do have a CSL version that says now there is peace on earth because we're channeling it in the now. So I may go back and forth between those lyrics, and if you want to sing with me, sing whichever version you're comfortable with. And Frank is definitely going to join me on this one.
You might as well get your spiritual practice afterwards.
I'm an alto, and that part that's very high is for you. So.
Okay.
Now there is peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, loved ones all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Let this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my strongest vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Yes.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
I decided to do something just a little different for the reading today. We're going to do I'm going to do the modified version of the prayer of St. Francis from the Science of Mind perspective. Okay, is that high enough, Harry? Okay. No, kind of disorder. Okay. Divine Spirit, I am an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I am love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's darkness, let there be light. Where there's sadness, joy. O Divine One that I am, knowing that I'm here in the planet now. I am here not to be consoled as to console. I am here to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is living a life of peace and love that we now experience in this eternal life now and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.
So take a few minutes to contemplate the truth of our peace, the truth of our love, that in forgiveness we are forgiven, that in faith we express the truth of who we are. Repeat after me. For I am love.
For I am love.
For I am faith.
For I am faith.
I am hope.
I am hope.
I am light.
I am light.
I am joy.
I am joy.
I am love.
I am love.
I am understanding.
I am understanding.
I am forgiving.
I am forgiving.
And so it is.
So it is.
If I get any more huggies, I'm gonna love this.
Oh, thank you, Frank. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Frank is also our speaker for today, so I want to give a little bio, let you know something about him. He has been involved in religious science since 1992. I think I was like in second grade then, Frank. And he's been a licensed practitioner since 2014. He is a traveling health professional, goes to various health centers, and is a nurse in the ICU units, which is quite a challenging profession if you ask me. And he has also visited religious science churches throughout the country. He has felt this call for over 40 years, and to live and share a life of oneness with and as a divine expression of all life. Frank's spiritual work is always to call others to their deeper awareness of the divine within them, as he just did in that exercise. So thank you for that, Frank. Frank's spiritual work is to call all to the deep awareness of God as themselves. And now, as a ministerial student, I am so excited to know that we will soon be able to call him Reverend Frank. Doesn't that have a nice ring to it? Rev Frank. Just think about that. But we're so glad he's here to share his wisdom and his devotion and his spiritual light with us today. So I give you Frank Mastoris. Ta-da. You the man. Oh, sorry.
I think I should laugh at that.
You the man.
Okay, so I'm going to share a story. There once upon a time, all good stories start with once upon a time. There was a farmer and his wife and their 6 children. And they lived in a one-room house. Think about it. Can you just feel the noise and the chaos of sleeping and eating and children playing and bathing and cooking in a one-room house? Oh my, the thought of it just sends chills down my spine. As much as I love my spouse, there are moments it's like, go to the other room. And as you can guess, it was really like noisy and cramped, etc. And eventually the farmer complained to his wife that it was too noisy and too crowded. And she suggested that he go speak to their spiritual leader to learn to deal with his feelings. So he went to the place where his spiritual leader was, and he spoke to the leader and shared the story. The spiritual leader asked him a question. Do you have farm animals? I mean, he's a farmer. He said, and he goes, yes. He said, bring your animals into the house. So he brought the cows, the chickens, and the goats into the house, and he followed the instructions of the spiritual leader. He then went for a day or so and got really frustrated. And then he returned to the spiritual leader complaining that the chickens were doing their business everywhere, they were clucking everywhere, there were feathers everywhere, and it was falling, and it was really bothering him. And the spiritual leader said to him, get the chickens out of your house, which he did. A few days later, he returned to the spiritual leader saying, the goat is eating the furniture. It's kicking it over. It's eating our food. It's eating our trash and knocking it over. And the spiritual leader said, get the goat out of your house. for which he did. Then he went to he went home and he was there for a few days and he said, I feel like I'm living in a stable. So he went back to the spiritual leader and said that to him. He said, I feel like I'm living in a stable. The cows are mooing. There's hair everywhere. And every other thing you don't want from a cow, okay, in the house. So the spiritual leader said, get that cow out of your house. So the spiritual leader didn't hear from him, and he went around looking for him and caught him and said, how are things going? And he said, oh, it's so wonderful. We have so much space, and it's so quiet, and it's so wonderful, and I have such peace in my home. Nothing changed. He still lived in a one-room house. He still lived with his kids, 6 kids and his wife. And he was very happy because he thanked the spiritual leader for his home's expansiveness, the space and the quietness. We live in a world of conditions. We look around and we see things like war, we see things like assassinations, we see violence in the streets and chaos of all sorts. We see shootings. We see all kinds of stuff that aren't pretty and generally are not fun. This is really not the truth of who we are. This is part of the collective consciousness that is expressed in our world. We see the conditions and we buy into the conditions. And oh, things are so bad. It's so this, it's so that. Violence is escalating, da 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 da. And as for those of you who may not know, the collective consciousness is just all of our thoughts, our unspoken thoughts, our unspoken feelings that perhaps were just there. They were unguarded thoughts most of the time because we never really thought about what we were thinking. We just more or less reacted to the conditions around us. We see most of the time it's reactions. War happens, people pick a side. Political parties fight, people pick a side. Some controversy comes up, people pick a side. We don't have to. We don't have to pick a side at all. Ernest Holmes reminds us that we are individualized expressions of the one life called God. And thus, we are peace itself. Nothing more and nothing less. We're spiritual beings having human experiences. Yet sometimes we get confused because we look at conditions versus the truth of who we really are. The conditions that are around us. And the confusion comes because we're also human beings. We exist here. There are facts happening. And sometimes we look at the facts, we don't look at the truth. Me, I see the condition. Till he saw what the remainder of the conditions of his life would be with all the animals in his life.
When all the animals are gone, he realized from his perspective how lucky he was, how lucky he was having his kid, how lucky he was having all the love in his home, how peaceful it really was when you didn't have farm animals, and how loving and kind his family was, how the togetherness and the closeness as the family was wonderful because his perspective had changed. He realized that he was loved and he was peace, and that the peace came from in here, not from out there, but in here. So I'm going to ask a question. Are we looking at our world from the eyes of condition? Are we looking at the conditions and being overwhelmed by it? Or are we looking for our spiritual life? The ones that say, oh, peace. I'm love. I'm faith. I'm joy. I'm laughter. I'm fun. I am all that I am because God is all that I am. Or am I living from the woe is me victim consciousness that says, oh, the world sucks. Oh, life is hard. Oh, yada, 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 yada. Whatever you throw in there, you can throw it in. Oh, you'll still love what you're saying. Okay. So I want to bring us back to the truth here. Imagine there's peace within us, and that we already are peace. As I did in our meditation, I talked about peace that we already are radiating out in the world. We're already peace. Peace is already out there. We're just unaware. We've disconnected from the truth of our spiritual being, and that's what. We forgot that we are peace. We forgot that the world is surrounded in peace. It is always expressing peace. And yes, we're not denying the facts. The facts are the facts. Yes, there are people out there doing weird stuff. You know, I like to call it weird science. But we are peace. And peace is the cornerstone of who we are. If we don't have peace, be peace. Know peace. Experience peace. And let it be you. Because you are peace already. Let your peace be present. Know that peace is in us and our world and our truth. There's no better smaller than we like to go, oh, well, I have no control over the peace. No. Yeah, I do. I have complete power in God. For I am one individualized expression of that one life. And in God, there is no big, it's no small. There's just God expressing. There is no big miracle. There is no small miracle. God is always expressing peace, period, through us, in the world, with every person, in every situation. Peace is there. Even in the midst of war, peace is there. We are the real peace in the world. And we are the peace we wish to see in the world. In the July 1955 Science of Man magazine, Ernst Holmes wrote, world peace is a thing that the average person believes is someone else's responsibility, when actually there's something very practical that we do. Living from the consciousness of peace, we are world peace. If any of you have ever seen Oprah, there was Michael Bernard Beckwith who was on. He happened to be talking about peace. And he said, Oprah said, well, what do you believe about peace? He goes, my world's peace. My world is peace because I know I'm peace. And regardless of what's happening out there, my world is peace. So, I'd like to share a prayer for world peace by Dr. Ernest. I know there is one mind, which is the mind of God, in which all people live and move and have their being. I know there is a divine pattern of humanity, and within this pattern, there is infinite harmony, peace, cooperation, unity, and mutual helpfulness. I know that the mind of each person, being one with the mind of God, shall discover the method, the way, and the means best fitted to permit the flow of divine love between individuals and nations. I know there's a free interchange of ideas, of cultures, of spiritual concepts, of ethics, of educational system, and scientific discovery. For all good belongs to all life. I know that because the divine mind has created us all, we are bound together in one infinite perfect unity. In bringing about world peace, I know that all people and all nations will remain individual, but unified for the common purpose of promoting peace, happiness, harmony, and prosperity. I know that deep within each person, the divine pattern of perfect peace is already there and is already expressing. I now declare that each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, this divine pattern moves into action and form. To the end of all nations and all people shall live together in peace, harmony, and prosperity. And so it is now. As Robin started in the beginning, she says, when people are discussing peace, they always talk about the negative, what peace is, what it's not. In closing, I want to give you all a homework assignment. I want you to really think about the positive side of what peace really is. I want you to feel that peace. And I really want you to imagine what peace really means to you, not what it isn't, but what it is. For me, it's love, it's harmony, it's joy, it's laughter, it's celebration, it's quietness. It's dancing in the street. Da, 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 da. That's peace to me. But I want you to take home the assignment and think about what's peace for you. And feel it, and know it, and express it, and love it. And thank you, my beautiful gods and goddesses, princesses, kings and queens of the universe. Divine expressions of that one life called God, for the gift of each and every one of you, whether you're in this room now or listening to this later. Thank you for the peace and love that you are. Namaste, and so it is.
It made me think that one aspect, positive aspect of peace is abundance. And not necessarily financial abundance, but an abundance of friends, an abundance of love, an abundance of, as Frank said, harmony. Sometimes an abundance of quietness. You know, it's just and so that's really my segue into the next part of my duties. Thank you so much, Frank, for bringing that all to our attention. So here the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore, we practice conscious giving, also called dana. In Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, dana is the practice of cultivating generosity, cultivating, growing, nurturing, cultivating generosity. And it can take the form of giving to those in need, giving to a community, or giving to where you are spiritually fed. So as we gather today in the spirit of love and peace and fellowship, we are mindful of the profound impact of conscious giving, of cultivating generosity, of dana. As we give, we receive. Law of reciprocity just works that way. There are a few ways to practice conscious giving in the support of the Center for Spiritual Living here in Baltimore. And you will find them on the donate page on our website using PayPal, Giveify, or you can text. We'll also put the link to the website. So with me, please look at the program and let's say together our declaration of financial wealth and abundance. Together, as a community, let us declare our financial wealth and abundance. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation.
I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness not only in the flow, but as the flow is. As I sow myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's mission and purpose. I actively give the demonstration and benefits of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Thank you all for your support. And now, talking about abundance, Teporah will grace us with another beautiful musician today.
We believe that God is their source. And this one is.
God is my source, God is my power, that gives me everything I want. I give thanks for all my blessings, gives me everything. My soul gives me so I give thanks for all you guys did that with that. You're like, to do it right. Oh, I'm so. Joy is my soul, is my power, is
Build it up, my friend.
Okay, we have one fabulous announcement. This coming Saturday, October 5th, we are having the Peace and Wellness Festival at RScP Mansion here in Baltimore. It's going to be a fabulous time of different healing modality practitioners, celebration of life, prayer, joy, laughter, music, food, and fun. And we want to invite you all to come and join us. Come join us and have some fun. Come join us and be the peace and the love that you really are, because you really are it. And I just want to, what time do we start?
11.
Okay. So it's 11 to 5 at RScP Mansion on Yellowstone Road.
Yellowwood Avenue.
Yellowwood Avenue. That's beautiful. But you can always do.
If you'd like to volunteer, you can come a couple of hours earlier.
Yeah. So if you'd like to volunteer, we'd love to have you. We'd like if you could come a couple hours early to help us set up and be the wonderful divine perfection that you already are. We'd love to have you. Come be in love. Come be in spiritual community with people who love you. Because we are the divine love of God.
It's free.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's free. Parking shuttle will bring you to. Oh yes, and there's off-site parking, and the shuttle will bring you in for free.
But it's free, but we have vendors, so bring some money.
Okay, I'm sorry, we have vendors, and so bring some money to spend.
Oh yeah.
But you're welcome to.
Raffle, a silent auction. Yes, right? You're doing a good job because it's reinforcing with the repetition, the call and response there.
You're all more than welcome to join us also on Sunday mornings. We meet here every first and third Sunday.
So
And we are online the second, fourth, and so but we invite you to join us every Sunday. Meditation starts at 10:10 and service starts at 10:30. And we'd love to have you. Just let us love you. Oh yeah, love that food. Okay. So I will do the closing benediction. And I give thanks for the peace and the love and the truth of who this community is. I give thanks. I give thanks because I know this community is overflowing with peace and love, joy and abundance, laughter and fun. I give thanks. There is so much love here that it just breaks down the doors and busts the windows out. And peaceful way. And I give thanks for the kind, the ever so present peace between each and every single one of them. Knowing that we can't be separated because we are those individualized expressions of that one life all. And I'm so grateful. And it releases to the law, knowing it's done in mind and form. And the way. Yay!